Hi everyone! I'm very pleased today to be with Sonia, who I worked with over a year ago now, and she's happy to share how this year has been for her since we worked together. So, first of all, thank you very much, Sonia, to be here with us and to accept to share how this wonderful year has been for you.
Thank you, me, and because now it's an opportunity to share, my experience. So I'm more than pleased to do that.
That's amazing. Thank you very much because I know you're going to inspire a lot of women. And Sonia's work is also to inspire women. So that's a great thing that she's doing for us today to share how it's been for her. So, Sonia, just to come back a bit of how we started, what made you book in with me or what made you decide to work on yourself?
I've been in a process, let's say, for this year of focusing self-care basically, and then and you just came and as an invitation. Not a verbal invitation, but it sounded like something I need to do. But for sure, what made me go forward was the trust. I trust Anne, and for me, it was two things that combined my willing to do something related with my personal growth and her, of course, that she came with her technique, with her wisdom, but I'm mainly the person in as it show up.
That's amazing. Thank you. And tell me what was going on in your life when you decided to really stop time and take care of yourself.
Actually, it was a really tough time or tough period of my time because I was having emotional breakdown. So I was not sure if it was the best time to do it, and encouraged me to do it because she mentioned at those time that it was something that was not related with the nowadays experience. So we were going back to patterns. So I just trust the process. Um, yes. So yeah, was it.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And tell me in terms of emotions. So you were saying you were going through emotional breakdown. Tell us just about the emotion. How were you feeling at that moment inside of you?
Um, I relate the time and also with a lot of things that we work during the treatment, if you can say that. But it was a lot of feelings of not worthing, self-esteem really low, below zero, and but it was a lot of with that rejection, and I was feeling I was living in a period of scarcity mindset. So pretty much everyone around me was connected with that.
Okay. And tell us, as you've been, I know because I know also a bit of, what everything that you did before you came to me. Tell me a bit, what had you tried, and why do you think it didn't help you to go to the next step, like to overcome
Yeah.
those emotions?
I've done like normal therapy, like Jung, Freud, pretty much in London, where I've lived for a long time. And what I realized it was I was always in control. So actually, all the treatment, everything that was dealing during the appointments, I could make pure sabotage. Like I was always developing the right answer for that. So it's like when we know when we want to answer. So I never realized it was really deep, because at some point it's relief because you have someone to share, but then deeply it was not into the self and not building up new structures, new patterns, emotional patterns, because it was always predictable what was I was expecting on the appointments.
Okay, amazing. And with regards to that and the experience that we had together, how would you describe to somebody, how was the experience with me in detail, like how it all went for you?
Well, in general, the what we work out was really it made sense when I've done the point when we've done, but until that point, I never realized how deep this pattern I had on my life about not worthing living did reflect in everything on my life. Like we went back to my birth, and it was so intense, and so, but at the same time was like a relief, because okay, that's it, that's why everything on my life is like growth in this pattern of not um, worth of yes, it was really intense. So uh, basically what I can say is we work pretty much in abundance, and everything on my life afterwards start to build up on these things. I mean, I build up in this year more than I think I've done in all my life. That's what I feel, and it's just a mindset, because it's a mindset build up in a healthy structure, in an abundance structure. So then interferes in everything on your life, starting on your body, on your health, then starting in the things that you possess, the dreams that how big you want to dream, your job, in the family relationships you build up. I mean, it's really an expansion thing when you really can go deep on your the things that get you stuck on your life.
That's amazing that you share that, because I usually say that, at first when we speak together, I say, okay, we're gonna work on, what's happening right now, what shows up in your life that's blocked or that's not working. But over time, you're gonna see a lot of things that are not only what we're directly working on change, because as we work on really the origins of what made up this scarcity mindset, or what were showing up, or all these emotional roller coaster that you were going through, like as you work on that, a lot of things start to show abundance, as you were saying. Like I know that a lot of things in your life has changed over these years.
Yeah. And physically I can share one thing, because um I always had issues with my period cycle, and I was detected like polyps, so I didn't know if I had to do the operation. And I know that these things were just a physical expression of my body, of everything that I was dealing with in life. And then in a period of 2 months, I've done a exam, and they were just gone. And that was, yeah, you believe it or not, but I mean, some things you just feel that it makes sense. And then of course it's just the beginning. It starts on your body, the things you see, but then there's all the other things that you don't see but is happening. It's like you break up a circle in your life, and then you start to get into the expansion mode.
That's amazing that you can really, transmit that, because sometimes we feel so stuck. We don't imagine that there is something, something else, something different that can really take you to where you want to be. So that's amazing that you can share that. Thank you, Sonia. And tell me, I like to ask this question, because I know that we had a lot of conversation around that just before we started working together. But what do you think about hypnosis, and how did it change your views on that after we worked together?
I will ever done do something like this in the past. So yeah, because I had like a really bad concept about this. But life is also teaching me that, all right? When I don't judge, if something sounds okay, at least explore. Of course, I have to say, I have to be very, very honest. I've just done just because, as I say at the beginning, I trust, and otherwise probably was something that it could happen on my life in the future. But exactly, more and more life is teaching me that. So when something sounds rings on your bell, you just at least explore. But for me it was very obvious in terms of let's do it. But yeah, I didn't have like a pretty much good I didn't have a clear idea about what it was.
I think, as you were sharing, sometimes really need to feel the pain, the emotional pain, to take a decision of doing something that we've never done before, right?
Human beings, we we need a stimulation. It's a pity that sometimes it needs to be the pain.
Yeah, a lot of the times, I guess, we
But-
really need to feel pain to take a.
But then maybe you start to change the perspective. So when something painful happens, maybe you say, oh, maybe this is an opportunity to make something different.
Exactly.
And then things release it up.
Yeah, I think people open up to different approaches when they feel like, okay, I don't want that anymore, and they open up and let go of some.
Yes, and I think that definitely you need to be open to dig inside, and understanding that some much other universe, and it's just not the things that you've lived until now. So if you are in pain now, it doesn't mean that you still need to live in pain now and after, right? So you can just break the circle.
Amazing. And Sonia, after you have done so much over the past year, how do you see your life, like in the coming months, years? How do you feel about what's coming for you?
If I could say, I feel very light. I mean, with no expectations, but I think that when you start, especially when you work deeply inside on yourself, you get a strength that you start to be open to opportunities, because that's the abundance on my case. That's what I was working and still working is a limit process. So it's like you get yourself open to everything that life will still have to bring, but mostly is starting to get out of the fear mode. And this is all about self-confidence, self-love, self-respect, about building up a really strong inner structure.
So how like in a sentence, what would you say to people that are in this limit? Shall I go? Shall I try? Shall I not? What would you say to them?
I don't know, just feel it. Don't think too much. Think is good to read a book, plan a trip, plan a cleaning at house, plan plan a course. I don't know, but mean for transformative decisions, you really need to feel it for sure.
Amazing. And one last question I have for you, Sonia, is, what do you think was like the one most important thing in the whole experience that we did together for you to get such an amazing response of, your body, your emotions, and you managing to do so much over this past year?
It's such a hard, because it's so complex at the same time. I see it maybe the trigger when we've done the session, like understanding what it blocks you. It's like the trigger, so then you start to grow. Maybe, I think, because that's when that's it. Because starting from that point, then you you got it into a path that you can't go back, because you took the first decision, right? I don't want this for me anymore. I want to be better. I want to be happier, or whatever it is. And then when the thing is that is the ignorance, is you don't know what happened, because I think I'm doing everything. What's wrong with me? And then after you understand, you start to take self-responsibility, because you understand, and then that trigger is already the starting point of the process. So yeah. It was not something physical, but I think that's the starting point.
And I think you're speaking for a lot of women that I speak with, because they usually say, okay, I've tried a lot of things, but I don't have an answer as to why this is happening. So that's a bit of what you were saying. I know why it is happening, so now I can really act on it and take decisions of what to do.
And act or not act. You mean the intention is there, and we all know. We all know when we are on the right path. And sometimes it's not necessarily something that happens or something that other person tells us. We just know. So yeah, just a breaking point.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sonia.
Thank you.
And you can be so proud of everything you've done this year.
Yes, I am.
So it's just keeping the amazing work, okay? Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you, Mian.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.